Beautiful. Welcome everybody to this just really beautiful gathering that we have together. I'm so grateful for each of you making this time here to gather just, together to really express gratitude for the life that we have. I want you to know that I'm very honored to be with each and everyone because I know all of you who have been showing up here. You don't know each other. It's wonderful to see, in, the chat box, that we are coming from all different kind of corners of the world. So I'm very, very grateful, to have each of you here. And I'm especially grateful today for four guests that I have, with me. And these people are very dear to me, and they will be sharing a little bit an experience, what it was like to read, my book, Sane Behind Enemy Lines, and just sharing, that experience. And all these three people are from a different corners of the life and walk of life. And so I was just really grateful, to invite them. And then also I have a really very, very special friend, and I'm so grateful for her. And this is my narrator, Miss Nancy Peterson, who is also going to share her experience, what it was like to really, dive in and work on this book that I have written many, many years ago and was asked to just, put it on Audible. So I dove into that project, and I was very fortunate and blessed to, find Nancy. So this is what I would like to do, today. We will start with a little bit of tuning in. I will have a very short meditation so we can just, ground in, and then I will invite my, four guests. They will just kind of take each of them about 3 minutes to share their experience. And then I have something that I really would like to, tell you today about, and that is just, about one of the, what I call vitamins to our soul. And it's going to be a vitamin joy. I want to talk to you a little bit about it, and also how actually these vitamins came around. And it's kind of really, I would say, very, very unique story. And I have never, ever shared, this here in United States. This is the very first time when I am going to share, the entire experience, how these vitamins just kind of came around, and what it was like for people in my country to work with them, to experience them, and to start practicing them. And then I have also a very special invitation for each of you, because I really would like to create this event as a possibility for this beautiful organization that I have known for a long time. It's called Kumora Academy. It's a non-profit organization that helps young entrepreneurs in Europe and actually from all over the world. And in past, I would say year, especially young people from Ukraine, to really develop leadership skills and to be able to take on life that has purpose and has meaning. And I will tell you a little bit more about it, because I would like to offer actually to teach these 7 vitamins as an online course. And it's going to be totally based on donation. I will fully 100% donate all of the money that I will gather from just kind of the course that I will be teaching to the Kumora Academy. There is a cost $3,000 per one student, and my goal is really be able, to raise money for one student from Ukraine to be able to come to study, because each student costs about $3,000. So that's just something, that I will talk a little bit later on about, okay? But now what I would like you just, to do, if you would be so kind and join me, is to sit up to a nice and comfortable seating position. Relax your shoulders. You can close your eyes. And as you are here, just acknowledge the fact that we are here together in this very unique gathering that we have. And just take a few inhales and exhales, just breathing in and out. Feel the natural flow of your breath. And if it feels comfortable to you, you can place one of the hands on the belly, the other one is on your heart, or both of your hands on your heart, just to connect. And I would like to express my gratitude for this beautiful time that is really time of gratitude and joy and love. More than anything else, this world that we are living in needs to experience the sense of connecting to each other and finding the pathways how we can create opportunities and possibilities in our life that can empower ourselves and people around us. I would like to ask Heavenly Father for all the blessings that each of us need today. That as you are going to be here today, that you will experience and feel something that is going to be important for you to feel or to hear or to experience in your body, in your mind, in your soul, in your spirit. I ask Heavenly Father for a special blessing upon all those who will speak today, that they are comfortable, that they can really share their heart. And the words that they will speak, that they will ignite the sense of love, joy, gratitude, and possibility. And I ask for a special blessing upon all of us so that we can be open and listen from the place of curiosity and openness. And I ask for all of these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Beautiful. So I would like to first ask my beautiful narrator, Miss Nancy Peterson. I want you to know she is really, truly an incredible human being. She's a pro in her field. I have found out after I hired her that she actually is not only a top-notch professional in this field, and if you would be looking and searching for her name, you would see that she has done a lot of incredible books as a narrator. But she won in 2018 an award, which is called Audi Award, and it is award from people who are professional narrators, and it is an award for the Audio Publishers Association that creates this possibility for people who have this gift to narrate to really just kind of, shine, in their field. And so it's something like almost like an Oscar rewards when you would win something like that. And so I am really just grateful that, she not only has been someone who is fantastic in that field, but I know that the feedback I'm getting from anyone who has been listening to the book is absolutely out of just kind of this world. And I'm so grateful that she brought actually a new level of volume, to the book, because I know that narrator can either kill the book or really just kind of, elevate what is there. So Nancy, if you would be so very, very kind, I will ask you to unmute, and if you would be so kind and share your experience, what it was like for
I
you.
would love to. So I was thrilled to narrate the book. One of the challenges I think with narrating something that's either a memoir or nonfiction is you and I don't sound alike. We sound different. We speak our language, our native languages are different. However, my goal, I feel like in doing this, I'll just give you a quick overview, is to capture sort of the feeling of of you. I want everyone to feel like they walk away knowing who you are. And so it's more about your words and what, just kind of almost getting out of the way in a sense. But that was a challenge because in order to get out of the way, I needed to be able to pronounce some very difficult words for me. So that was a challenge. And I appreciated your help. There were some things that I realized I just didn't hear. And so, you'd kind of tutored me through as far as like emphasis, and I noticed that there were some things that were held out a little longer, and so it was an interesting experience to be able to try and be true and authentic to names and places that were a little bit difficult for me. But I think we got it. I think we did. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it was just, to me, what was just incredible, working with you is that, as I was listening, just kind of as you sent me just, a couple of chapters just to read through it, it was really, I it was just, like being it was a really almost a surreal experience for me to have somebody else reading me. It's just very, very unique experience because I was almost someone who was like on a sideline watching myself or reading or listening, about my experience. And it was just very, very unique to me. I went to the places that I described in the book in completely just kind of a new light, just, having you as someone who was just kind of, doing the work as a narrator. And then, what was really fun is that we wanted to have, if you guys go just kind of, and open up the book on an Audible, it has a foreword and it has also a little bit of music that we tried to just kind of have a little bit, introduction to it. And that was just kind of, really very fun part. I don't know how much you know about just kind of, but you gave me just a name of a really great friend of you, just kind of professional musician. Do you know a little bit just kind of about that process, what was going on?
yes, I actually did that. I did the process, just received the music. But yes, Peter Murray, he's actually my nephew. He was nominated for a Grammy this year. For his composition of Hogwarts Legacy, he and two other composers. So he's very talented. I felt like he could, in anything like this, when you want a listener to be engrossed or they want to be transported, that's a better word, transported to a place different than they are right now. Music is one of the quickest things you can do. And I felt like Peter's music that was honoring basically the Czech music that you described so beautifully in the book. I think he did a fabulous job, and I think that actually worked. It As you listen to the music, you're hearing something, and it pulls you in, and I think it turned out beautifully. But yeah, I more than anything, I absolutely loved the fact that I too was. I mean, the first thing I think of is the goats. There are so many things about the book that is like that are just so fun and that give a glimpse into your own life to me that was just priceless. And I think it was beautiful. So
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Again, I'm just so grateful for you because what happens is when you hire somebody like that, you put it on the ACX, website, and you have over 80 or 90 people who wanted to do the job, and there were some really phenomenal people just kind of that I know that would do great job. And I just, I sit with it, and it's just kind of, you came, as someone that I just felt so connected to, and so I know that it was a project that was led, from the universe. You really were hired because there was a higher power who wanted you to do
thank you.
that.
I
So
have felt that too. And I know we've had that conversation. It's like this was meant to be. So
yes,
I'm grateful for that as well.
thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you. So I would like to now to ask another Nancy, Nancy Dowell. Nancy Dallas, she is the person who helps my face to be, great. She takes care of my face every month, and we developed absolutely an incredible friendship together because she's someone who is just so beautiful, down deep soul. We do face, but the things that we speak, guys, you don't have any idea. So Nancy, she also just finished, the book on the Audible, and I was really blown away, just kind of, the experience that she have shared. So I just wanted to ask her to just say a few words. What was it like for you, Nancy, to listen to the book?
It was powerful. It was very powerful. And let me just start by saying, please, that I am so honored to be here. And I am so honored to meet Nancy Peterson because you were my best friend for, the length of the time that it took me to listen to the book, the story. You were in the car with me every day. Olga, you were there too. It was kind of surreal. But Nancy, you are honestly probably the best narrator that I have heard on Audible. And I've heard a lot of them. And people, the narrators do make or break it. But your telling of Olga's story was so beautiful. And I thank you and I honor you. But it was really, Olga, the relatability that surprised me about your books, because our circumstances as young girls, as teenagers, as young women, the women we are now, our circumstances were so different, and yet there was so much that my soul resonated with in your story. I was listening to your, the story of your kind of bucolic childhood. You had great parents. You played your accordion in the fields for the animals. And I just imagined you running through the fields in your bare feet, things that I used to love to do too. And it just, I was captured by that time. And as you grew, I felt the same kind of longing in you as I did in myself, as even as far back as childhood, because I went to Catholic school, but my parents were not religious. We were very loose Catholics, but I was so curious, and I was so longing to know God. And I got to the point in my life where what I was being told was a little weird and a little off and a lot confusing. And I got angry with that, and I just kind of gave up on that. And as you were going through your own questioning, I was like, yeah. And then you went into university, I went into college. You kind of went right, I kind of went left, because you were also driven not only by a desire, deep desire to know the truth about the meaning of life. You were deeply desiring to become educated in every way that you could. And I was not. I was there for the party. And, my life went in another way in my early 20s, which left me feeling very, very lost and angry. And then at a certain point in your life where it was such divine order that kept putting things in front of you, and your desire that kept opening and following and opening and following. It was it was just amazing. And I did not want to get out of the car when I was listening to this story, this beautiful story. But anyway, another point in life where I really related to your story is when you found yoga, and found yoga to be an opening to spirituality. And then you started having these yoga retreats where you would sort of open others to the idea of spirituality. And a lot of these people were prisoners in their own heads because of the communist influence that was not allowing them to think or act differently than they wanted them. And so your portal that you created for joy, for happiness, for a higher way of looking at things for people was so awe-inspiring. Around that time in my life, I found like a personal development group called Lifestream because I could not give up my seeking and my desire to know the meaning of life. And so Lifestream to me was my portal. And I related that period of my life to when you were having your retreats. It sounded very much like the same kind of thing. And as you and I have not known each other that long, but we're like two instruments resonating at the same vibration. And I feel like that was my journey through reading your book, through hearing your book, through Nancy's voice. It was resonating on the same vibration with different circumstances all around. And when it was over, your your courage in your life from a young woman determined to do things the right way, just the right way to see the higher perspective. I am in awe of you. And wow, wow,
Oh,
wow.
thank
I
you.
mean, incredible book, incredible woman.
Thank
And
you so
yeah,
much. And I just have learned very recently that what we see in others, it's just the mirror who we really are. And that's just kind of, how I, feel about you, Nancy. Thank you so much for just, a beautiful share, how you found just, a parallel in the book, just, with your life. I think it's just so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.
And I would like to ask Kathleen Puta, my really amazing friends in Arizona, Phoenix. She is absolutely, guys, a beautiful human being. And I'm just so honored just kind of to be called your friend, Kathleen. Tell us just what has come up for you when you are listening to the book.
Thank you, Olga. And I feel that way about you too. I started the book in January and I was like, I want to read at least a part of it before I meet Olga, at the ultimate event in Phoenix. And I honestly, I would say I couldn't put my book down, but it's more like I couldn't put my ear pods down because it was just so captivating. I feel the same way. Nancy's voice is just terrific. And immediately I mentioned that to Olga, just how beautiful it fits the story. What was present for me was these golden nuggets just kept jumping out at me, and I was going to share a couple. There was one time Olga was testing to get into a college prep high school, and they did a morning test. It was math and I don't know, maybe English, but the math portion, they announced who passed it. Olga didn't pass it, which really created this feeling of like, what am I going to do? I've got to get into this school. Like, where would I go to school? And it seemed like this intense desire, which, when you don't get what you want, the desire, you can really realize how much you wanted something. In the afternoon, they had to test more. And she went into the afternoon math session, which was like she had to write it on a chalkboard. And she just knew all the problems and just passed all the math just beautifully. And the instructor said, yes, you do make it into the school. And so it just made me think, like, sometimes like you think, oh, I'm never going to do it. But if the desire's there, like, and you can see yourself there, you're coming from that, boom. So there's so many little things like that in the book that were really meaningful to me. There was another time, and they said you had to WYW, watch your word. And I feel like, in the Ultimate Coach, those of you that are familiar with that, the idea that your thoughts create, we're really trying to become good at listening to our thoughts and being aware anything that comes out of our mouth, we're creating that. Well, I was like, wow, Olga had this training back in high school to watch her word, only it was you had to be careful not to say anything against the Communist Party. But still, the mental development of your mind would have been, like really started to be cultivated then. So I just think it's an amazing book, and I feel so just touched to be your friend and to see all you've gone through to get where you are today. So.
Thank you so much. WOW. That sounds wonderful. That's a new one to me, and it's really interesting. How you are. Connecting to watching our words, because it was more than from the place of fear, right? And it's just so beautiful to arrive in the place in my life where I watch my words, because I have learned that, that's where the creation of our life comes from. What type of a language we use, right? What kind of words we use. We are creating, our world. And so it's so beautiful, just kind of, for me, that's a very kind of beautiful teaching moment for me, that I realized, wow, yes, it's true. I had to watch my words. And that was more just kind of from the place of really fear. And now it's just kind of different, just really being mindful what type of words I use, because I want to create beautiful things around me. Thank you so much, Kathleen. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I love you. And Dave Orton, a great friend of mine, a coach who coached me for some time last year. What a great journey we had together. And Dave has kind of, really an interesting, background, and he will tell you what it is, why I kind of called him. He knows why I just kind of chose him to share it. So Dave, Alvia, yes, you can, you can unmute.
Thank you so much. So for me, I grew up in Idaho, in a small town in Idaho, far, far away from anything scary or exciting. And I worried about the communists all the time growing up. Like, I caught the very last wave of the Cold War, and I just worried about it. My brothers and my mom and dad are like, why are you worrying about this? This doesn't make any sense. But I had all these concerns, and I had nightmares about the communists taking us over and things like that. And I didn't know what where this was coming from, and I didn't know. It felt like there was this experience of just persecution, and this experience of you have to be so careful, or else you're going to get punished for your beliefs. And I grew up, stopped worrying about that at about age 14, thank goodness. But then I got called on my Mormon mission and was sent, we don't get to choose where we go. I got sent to Russia, to southern Russia. And it had opened up just a couple of years prior, after the fall of the Soviet Union. And I had the opportunity to go there and talk with, the message to my mind was, God, I hated communists and communism so bad, God needed me to go learn how to love some communists. and so I did the very, I did the very best I could there. I got robbed the first day I was in Russia. It was a fantastic experience. And I got to have the opportunity to start work where nobody had ever been before, where no boldly go where no LDS missionary had ever gone before. And when I met Olga, and when I read her book, and I found out that I knew some of the people that she knew. I found out that I had carried groceries for one of the people that had brought literature into the Czech Republic, in Czechoslovakia at that point. I had been friends with with his youngest son, and I found out that my cousin's wife knew very well who Olga was, and she wasn't even from Czech Republic. She was from Slovakia, and it didn't matter. So you guys may not know this, but Olga's kind of a big deal in certain circles. But more importantly, when I spoke with Olga, I found out that she had a very similar experience to me from the perspective of feeling like this communist thing. So Nancy Dahl, I think you were the one that said that there was a resonance of soul. And I think that's what I was experiencing, was a resonance of soul with this beautiful person, Olga, whose book I would later read and go, oh my goodness, this is what my experience was in Rexburg. And then in Russia, I had a different but similar experience. And in particularly what really moved me was her steadfastness when she was taken by the secret police and interrogated for multiple days. I got arrested once and was in a holding cell for 3 hours, and I was freaking out while I was in Russia, you know. But that's the real point of this, is that this book and who Olga is in the world is a stand for that everyone elevates their consciousness, whether it be through yoga, whether it be through spirituality, whether it be through who we are being, whether it be through just her presence, whether it be through her words that Nancy Peterson is reading in Audible, whether it be through her speaking. She is a stand for that everybody wins. She's a stand for that everyone is coming closer to their true self and coming closer to God, whatever their understanding of God up to and including that there is no God, but a higher self or something like that. And I love her. My wife Penny was able to attend one of her yoga retreats this last year, and it was a beautiful experience for her. So thank you, Olga, so much for your life, for allowing me to get to know Randy and your family. We have some other little interconnectedness with our families that's really quite fun, but thank you for being you. I'm so honored to know you and to know your story and to resonate with you on the level that I do.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just so very grateful for my parents. They were really true heroes in my life, regardless of the circumstances I was in. I couldn't ask for more beautiful parents that I got in Zdenek and Dana. Beautiful, beautiful people. And as I look back, onto my life, of course, it's fun to, write your story. And honestly, for me, it's, more for my posterity, for my children, grandchildren, that one day I hope that someone in my family is going to read about this girl and realize, just like Dave, Nancy, Kathleen, they said that anything is possible in our lives, because I think that one thing that I have learned about myself is that my life is and has never been defined by the circumstances that I find myself. I take it as one of the most precious gifts that have been given to me. Some people call it courage. But I really truly feel that it has been a heavenly gift that has been carrying me on since I was a little kid. I remember once, and it's in the book, but I was pulling just, one of the bushes. Nobody could pull it. It was a lot of work, in the garden, big projects in the spring. And I don't even know where I mastered just kind of, the strength. I was at that point, I think I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and nobody could pull it out. I go and I just wiggle it. I was just, no, this is going to be, I'll go out. And I pulled it. And I remember like everyone was in awe, including myself. And maybe pulling that, those roots of that bush was one of the things that just created something. I just realized, like, oh my gosh, nobody else could do it. And I did it, and I think that it was just, if I look back at some experiences in my life, it was just, like that. And I honestly, I was also so very blessed how, there are things that come into your life as opportunities. And when you are blind, you don't see them. When you just, look at them as, oh, maybe, or no, this is not possible. But I look at so many instances in my life, and I was like, we have a saying in the Czech Republic, that you can, when you see a willow tree, you can either sit under it or just kind of cut one of the branches and just, create a little whistle and play on it, or a little flute, and I just, think that it is, that we can either sit beneath the willow tree and get the rest from the sun, or we realize there is more to it being under the willow tree, that I can actually just kind of, create something out of that. And I'm just so grateful that that has been something that always has come very, like natural to me. And I remember just, as I was contemplating just, when that we are going to be together, I was like, how did all of this started? And, I realized that just one instance, I get to the university, and within a couple of days, I start talking just kind of, to this girl, and we realized that we have a common interest in yoga, and we just talk about it, but nothing out of it. Then in a month, she comes to me and she is just telling me, I was on a train with someone, and this person really knows what just kind of yoga is about, and she just says, do you want to go with me? They invited me to just to come over, and I was like, there was just no, like, I don't know, I don't have time, or maybe, just as, he said that if I want to come to visit, I can come tomorrow. I was, let's go, we are going. And do you know what happened is we both of us came, but she never ever went back. I just walked in and I just felt something in that family that I just really never, I just knew there was something that I need to go back. And do you know what it was? It was really just kind of the sense of joy that I felt in their lives that was just so foreign in the place, just kind of, when we were reeling and when we were living, and the thing is, I'm just looking back, I was like, yes, that was just kind of, this one friend. It was like a planted seed. And because of that friend, I just, came to know, and we can call it either universal mind or God or Joshua, whatever you call it. And then my life took completely on a new turn, that I got this opportunity to come to United States just to actually be a narrator also, in Czech language for a particular just kind of, thing that, needed to be recorded for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And that opened up a new door for me to be able to come. And the rest is just kind of a history. I could go on and on. But so one thing what I just kind of want to share is, if there is anything from the book that I just wish that kind of, everyone could take, is that, be open to every single connection and every single opportunity that you have each day, because everyone is placed in your life for a reason, even the person who is standing behind you in a grocery store. And the second thing, if I may share with you guys, this is something really, really cool. So as I'm going through my university life and I'm getting into yoga, I have this really amazing mentor, Otakar Wojkówka. And we started just kind of, creating these summer retreats. And he was a very unique guy, he was just so tuned into people, so loving, so kind of, service oriented, just really incredible. I could not get anybody else around that time of my life that could shape my life as much as being just kind of, next to this man who was at that point in his 70s. And just seeing what he was creating in the circumstances that I know that he was in a prison a few times, he was questioned by the police many times, and still he was finding the ways to share hope among Czech people. And one of the things that what we did at the camps was that each evening we gathered outside in a beautiful nature. He always wanted to have some really beautiful big tree we can be under, and we are sitting on a grass. And we would be just kind of expanding, and he started calling it vitamins, for your soul. And each evening, there would be other young people just like me. We would be sharing just, about the specific vitamin. And then he would be speaking on it. And these vitamins, as I look back, because I was like, I wish I have asking, where did it come from? How did he come up with just kind of those specific vitamins? And as I looked at each vitamin, I realized that it's a feeling. Like awe, vitamin of joy, vitamin of gratitude, vitamin of love. And I was like, wow, what was going on? Because I was a witness of what was happening with the people. We did practice yoga. We did a lot of breath work. We ate really just kind of good and healthy food. There was a sense of community. But there was something, in these evenings gatherings that open up people like nothing else during that camp. And it would be always a little bit far away from the place that we were all of us staying. So we would have to walk about 30 minutes to this place and then coming back. And I really think, because he passed away, so I couldn't ask him questions, but I think that he did that on purpose too, because we were walking on just kind of, little ground, just kind of, and talking to each other. And I see him, how he was mingling with these people when we were coming into the fireside, out of the silence, especially those times. And those were the times that people started just kind of, speaking up. They started talking, about their lives, because I don't know if you guys have ever met people during the communism in my country, but people were like plastic masks. You couldn't really express feelings because it was something that was dangerous. If you were looking too happy, you would have, it's just because it was like a bee on a honey, the communists, and the police would go after, like, what is it? I know this person doesn't drink any alcohol because that was the only kind of, substance people had there, nothing else. What's going on? And so, seeing people just, opening up and sharing was absolutely something that was just, transformational. And as I really looked back again on it, and because it was full 10 years that I devoted from about 20 to 30 years old, I devoted my life, in those summers. There was 8 weeks of summer camps. And we would be just kind of, and there was always about 50 people who would come, okay? So big groups. But that was like 10 years. I just devoted my life to that, you know, and it was the most beautiful tutoring that I could just, you know, get in my life, seeing, you know, my mentor, how he worked with people, how he loved people, how he was capable to listen, how he provided a support. It was just something incredible that changed me and changed my pathway also as a yoga teacher, as, you know, a human being, as a wife in the future, and of who I am. I really, my life is just, you know, so enriched because just kind of, you know, of this mentor that I had in completely the place of full darkness. And so, of course, I'm just kind of today speaking about the joy, and the reason why is, and if I just make, I know that we have just about only 10 minutes to close, just kind of, you know, are getting together, but I just want you to know that if you do have a book that is on page just kind of, you know, 70, my really awakening experience to just, you know, who, you know, I really have become. It's called chapter 6, Finding Some Answers. And, you know, I was someone who was really looking to live a life that had a purpose. And I knew that what was offered to me at schools was just, you know, I knew that there was something missing, but I just didn't know what it was. And so I was looking and looking and looking and looking. And as I just kind of, you know, met, you know, with this yogi, Otakar Wojciechowska, and he gave me many books, you know, and he gave me one book that I was reading, you know, and it was really interesting because when I was reading the particular book, I came to the phrase that completely changed my life. And that was that we are, that we might have joy. And that sentence completely just kind of, you know, altered my life. I was at that time in dormitory, and I just will read just one paragraph, what I went through. I sat completely motionless, unable to even move. Such was the way this truth entered my soul at that moment. It shocked me with an enormous amount of happiness, which suddenly opened my heart, and I had not experienced anything like that before. I kept reading this sentence over and over and over, always filled with an embracing new happiness in my heart and a new understandings as I did so. I was deeply moved. Here in this book, I had at last found an answer to my long-held question, and somehow deep in my soul, I believe the statement that the purpose of human life was and is to have joy. But I would never have thought that I myself, without anyone sitting with me in the room, might find the answer to my question about the purpose of life, nor could I have imagined that such a strong, unshakable assurance of the Spirit would come to my soul from reading these words. That was really truly, I was at that point, I was 20 years old, and I was awakened. I was awakened to the purpose of my life. And I, from that day until today, those of you who know me well, what is just kind of something that comes out of Olga is really the sense of optimism and joy. Because well, as I read that, I was awakened, you know, to my purpose. I know that the purpose, you know, of our lives is joy. And when we experience joy inside, we are capable to just create miracles every single day. And so just kind of, you know, to close today, first of all, I want to thank everybody just, you know, being here and just sharing this, you know, time together. I just would like you to know that I love you. I love you so much. I appreciate that you, all of you have come. Look at you. There were only 2 people who left. All of you have stayed. I'm honored. I'm honored that you are just, you know, here and that it's meaningful to you, because I really know that the purpose of my life, from now on is go and to serve from the place of love and from the place of joy. And I really just kind of, feel like all what we do in our lives, the way just we are showing up every single day makes really just kind of a huge difference. We always, create something. I was taught that recently that we create every day, and it depends just kind of what we are creating by, our thoughts and just the way we are showing up. We either create just kind of the same old, or we can really just kind of be truly creators of something that is remarkable and beautiful, and every day can be a miracle. And so that's, my devotion to my life, to create miracles in my life and in yours lives and in anybody else who God is going to send to me. And as I have said, I really would like to, for those of you who are interested, to really expand on those vitamins, because it's really very unique and remarkable way to come to practice a particular feelings in your life each week and awakening them within you and create just kind of, opportunities in your life to awaken possibilities of goodness and compassion in other people. So like I said, just kind of, all the way in the beginning, I will be launching, 7-week online course that it's called Vitamins to Your Soul. And as I said, and I will post the link just kind of, here, and I will send you the link. This is going to be completely just kind of a course that I'm going to donate all the profits from this, and also all the profits that I'm getting just, from the book will go to Kumora Academy, and I will send you a link. It's a nonprofit organization that is based in the Czech Republic that helps young entrepreneurial spirits and people who like to learn leadership skills and really create difference in the place where they are. I like to just kind of, devote, these, resources just kind of, to them. I worked there for 1 semester as a mentor, and I saw the difference, that were created in these young people's lives. I was fortunate that at the point I was working with a lot of people from Ukraine, because it was at the time when the war just kind of came out about. And so I was really fortunate to be with, I think there were about 12 people who were from Ukraine, but there are people from all different kind of other parts, of the Europe who come to study. And I will send you just kind of, link to it so you can just kind of, see what it is. But my goal is that with this course that it's going to start in a couple of weeks on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And those of you who want to enroll, you are very much welcome. That I will just kind of, use all of these resources. And my goal is to really be able to pay a tuition for one student, which is $3,000. And I know that, I can do it because I have done it during the pandemic with many of you guys who have come to my yoga classes. I actually raised money for Kumora Academy before that. So if you are interested, I will just, post a couple of things. This is the Kumora Academy. I just want to put it in just kind of, and you can then paste it. This is the organization that I want to just kind of, want all of my just kind of proceeds to go to from the Vitamins for the Souls that I will be, teaching. And also here is, and here is, I will send you, okay, here is my website, and you will have basically a couple of options there, okay. Oh, I just click on different link. Okay, so, okay, just a second. Okay, here. Thank you so much for your patience. You have basically option, here. You can either purchase the whole course, which is $259, or you can just simply buy one class, one single class, and that is either donation $37 or you can double it, and you can come to each of them individually. So here is just kind of the booking page, and I will send it to you. But this is my life. I know that this is going to be a very, very transformational way to teach about something that I am not only passionate about, but I know a lot about. And I know that feelings can truly change our lives. And if you want to know how to cultivate really awesome feelings in your life that will create transformation, this is a place for you to be. And if anything else, you can just kind of, really donate, the way you feel comfortable. Yes. Okay. So I hope that you can see the links. Okay. Now what I will do is yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tanya, for opening to it. What I will do, guys, is I will now just, unmute, all of you. Okay. And, if there is anyone who wants to say hello, please just kind of, feel free, just kind of, to say hello, and just, going in our different ways and pathways. I just want you to know that I want to stay in touch with you. I have a lot of wonderful yoga students and yoga clients here. I have a lot of dear coach friends here. I have a lot of from being the movement friends here, and just from all different kind of walks of my life. I want to thank you so much for being here. Look at us. This is just a beautiful creation. So I would like you to now please unmute and feel to say hello and stay in tune. I will send you more information about just kind of the course, and if you want to contribute. So please unmute and say everybody hello. Okay.
Hello.
Thank you,
guys.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
love you.
Hey,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Ken.
Thank you.
Hello, hello,
Thank you, guys. Every day. Thanks to you. Hey, guys. Hey, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye.
See.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so much.
you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Raksha. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Bob. Thank you for
Blessings.
coming. Yes, it was so good to see you, Angela. Yes, Penny.
Lovely
Thank
to
you,
see you
guys.
all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
Love
Fadi.
you all.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you,
Great
guys.
job, Olga.
Thank you for
Bye-bye.
coming. Yes,
Excellent work.
absolutely.
Bye.
Thank you, thank you,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. If everybody still just kind of, wants to stay and stay and say a few couple words, that's great. Okay, I will stop.